Sorry for the delay, but let's talk about free responses a little bit. I know we went over it in class with everybody, but this will be there for you anytime you need to get it. So this note how-to sheet is available on in the AP exam practice folder. Okay, so let's start at the top, right? On how my suggestion on formatting works to kind of make sure that we address every point and keep things simple. Right, so we want to take every point and break it into these 4 sentences. You can see there A, B, C, D. You can also number them 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. But the first one is going to be a definition. Try to define the term. It doesn't have to be an exact book definition, but remember the definition alone doesn't score. So you're going to need to continue to give more information. So oftentimes you'll probably see what I may say is vague or be more specific or give more details. The next 2 sentences are the crucial parts of that. Next one is to give a general example, right? How would this work in real life? What did you read in the textbook? What did you see in our notes, etc. And the next one is the most important. That's the application. That's taking what the question asked you to do with that term, phenomena, etc., and applying it back to the prompt to make sure you answer their question. That is where you score the point. So see, this one right here is the most important. You've got to have that. And then if time, this is also a wonderful addition, is the importance of that idea to the greater field of psychology and or your life and or the question and so on. If you have a question with lots of points that you're trying to score, you might want to omit part D just because of the time issues, okay? So again, you could take these how you wish, okay? But having read thousands of them, I'm trying to give you a leg up, a little bit of a suggestion, okay? So do you have to do it? No. But again, I can't stress enough how much more difficult I believe, and from having read them, it is to have one big flowing paragraph where you try to weave all the answers in because you lack the descriptive depth as well as, you know, possibly omitting something or contradicting something to lose points, okay? So down here, these are just some helpful tips stylistically of things to think about. Are you estimating every single point, meaning how many terms are you having to describe and what you have to do with them? Did you make any diagrams? Making sure we're using technical terms, right? Use the vocab that we're working on. Did you use names that we've talked about from class or specific studies? Making sure we have a space between each one of those paragraphs. Okay? Underlining or boxing. Things, especially this sentence, the application, underline, box it. Take people's eyes right there. Avoiding intro, don't waste your time. No conclusion necessary. You know, striving for accurate definitions. You can switch ink if you're handwriting, especially to kind of separate the 2 points you're trying to get. Bracket or put a 1 or the letter next to it so we know each little section, this is what we're trying to do. Text and class examples, great stuff. Remember, we're in class doing the notes. I try to do more of the example type stuff for you and not as much of the basic info because that's already been annotated. Making sure we write cleanly if we're handwriting it. Robust examples just means you're giving really full, detailed examples of how those terms or phenomena are applied. Courtesy to the reader is it well organized, simplistic, easy to find things, and then directing to the point. We're not just kind of wandering around and adding a bunch of information we don't need to. So here's an example. So briefly discuss the causes, treatments of depression from the perspective of each of the following psychological approaches. So we know this is a 3-point question, okay? I just made this question up though, so it's probably not an actual question, but how we go about answering this, let's just say we're typing it. If we're handwriting it, we can bracket it and kind of do the same thing, but we're gonna go A, right? We're gonna define psychodynamic or psychoanalytic perspective. Then we're gonna give an example, text, class, life, you name it. Then, sorry, I was typing what I was saying. Then we're going to apply it to the question. This being, okay, they're asking you to discuss the causes and treatments, right? So kind of two things being asked of each one of these. So you're going to have to say this is the causes of depression from this perspective, and these are some of the treatments from this perspective. So that's what would go right there, making sure you're getting right back and specifically answering it. And then why this approach is important. Okay. That's it. I mean, that's kind of what you're doing. And then you move on to the next one. Again, give a space. Now we're B. Boom. Easy to follow, easy to read. You do this writing as well. Imagine this is a lined piece of paper. You have one line there. And you go down to the next one. You can do a bracket, okay, and then put it out there. You can put the name of what you're trying to do. And then here, all you would do is the important stuff. You can just go like this. Boom. Now I know exactly where I want to go to find the part that scores. Okay. The things that we can't set you up for is being able to be aware of and knowing the content that's being asked of you. That comes down to your reading. That comes down to your vocabulary. That comes down to your participation in notes from class, etc. Right? That's where you and your knowledge come into play. Structurally, though, we can set it up to give you the best chance to score well. Okay? I hope this helps. If you have further questions, please just ask. Okay, and hopefully we'll get to a point where we're all writing stylistically really, really cleanly.